Ahoy, bitches and bros and non-binary hoes. Welcome back to Robby Reviews, and today we're taking a look at Daredevil Born Again. I was eagerly anticipating this show, but I was cautiously optimistic since Disney would be handling Daredevil. And in some ways, I was right just because I didn't really think they'd ever live up to the original Netflix show. But I also never had that hope that they would. I just accepted it would be an almost new thing that they were trying just using things I like from the show. And I gotta be honest, for the most part, I'm really satisfied with this show. I just want to actually give thanks to Disney for actually bothering to make this happen. They could have just threw this away in the trash since when they acquire most things, they don't even bother to use them. I mean, just take a look at the Star Wars Legend stuff. They didn't even bother to use any of that and just wanted to say, we want to make our own, like, canon, basically. But no, so it was actually kind of cool of them to actually use stuff that fans liked. So I was really excited for this show, and I gotta be honest, it's pretty good. I was maybe thinking that this be some kind of disaster given the making of this, since before the original vision was going to be something else entirely, but after filming 4 episodes, they completely scrapped it and just hired the Netflix writers and creators back on the show. And the final product, what we got, was a mishmash of what Disney wanted and what the original Netflix team wanted to do. And it worked out pretty good, honestly. It's pretty cohesive for the most part. I have some issues with it, but honestly, it's pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. So I'm really gonna start out by saying that there will be spoilers for this, because there's some things in this show I don't really know how to talk about without spoiling it. So that's your warning. So first off, it starts out real strong with the death of Foggy and Daredevil attempting to kill Bullseye. Uh, yeah, it was really cathartic to see Foggy and Karen back having a normal life, and then it just, in typical Daredevil fashion, goes to shit with the death of Foggy, which was a big shock. I knew it was gonna happen, but um, yeah, it was still tough to see. You, as a comic reader, Foggy is usually one that always sticks around. He, like, almost never dies. He's the one constant in Matt's life. So this was a swing I really respected, that killed the one character that just never dies in Matt's life. It's a pretty big swing. And I love the story they set up where Matt is just so depressed, just almost going through the motions, but also trying to be his best self, but the circumstances just never allow for it. I think it's a great fucking story choice for Matt. It's very interesting, especially for him to navigate life without two constants in his life, Foggy and Karen. I really cannot believe that they were originally just going to die off screen. That is fucking foul. So yeah, the creative overhaul was really well needed. And another thing I really like in this show is the legal drama. There's a few episodes that are dedicated to the trial of Hector Ayala, the White Tiger, a vigilante who caused the deaths of somebody, of a police officer, and I think it's really engaging. It's really interesting. I'm glad to know that this show can also be an engaging legal drama while also having cool superhero stuff. I think they did a great job with that. But yeah, overall, I was just really invested with the story. It was very engaging. I love that the whole story is just basically showing a compare and contrast to Matt and Fisk, showing how similar they are, but yet so different. How the whole show is basically them just trapping their primal selves and then just waiting for it to be exploded. I think that is so engaging, and they show that so very, very well. Just both of them just kind of just going through the motions, trying to play it straight, but yet the circumstances just don't allow for it for them. And they have a great fight scene when it finally explodes. Daredevil, of course, facing Muse, and then Wilson Fisk trying to kill Adam. It was a great way to shoot it, and they did a great job with that. Speaking of the fight scenes, I'm actually shocked to say this, but somehow this show is way more brutal than the Netflix show. I Could not believe it. Like, I really didn't accept them to pass the infamous car door scene when Wilson Fisk kills that guy with a car door, but they somehow did it. I'm in here seeing like fucking broken bones, broken shins, people landing on their heads. Hell, I've even seen Wilson Fisk fucking do the Great Khali on somebody. Holy shit! It caught me way off guard. I didn't expect them to be so much more brutal than the Netflix show. I applaud them. I hope Disney takes all the right lessons from this and shows that there can be like mature content for Marvel. Like, not everything has to be like squeaky clean, like PG-13 friendly. I hope they start making like more brutal shit, you know? Like, I know they have something with the Punisher in the works. By the way, John Bernthal is awesome as Punisher in this. It's just straight out of the comics with him. I love every scene with Matt and Frank. It is just gold. Their chemistry is unmatched. But anyway, they're gonna be making a Punisher stuff. I trust them to go all hard on that. My only complaint with that is that please do not have every fight scene with the Punisher be in slow-mo. If there's one thing I can critique about their portrayal of Punisher is that they make his fight scenes so incredibly lame. I don't know why they gave it like the Zack Snyder treatment and just made everything in slow-mo. It is so boring compared to the Netflix style. Like, just do that. One more thing about Punisher, I love the that they're adapting the famous cop storyline. I've always thought that was one of Punisher's best stories, and they did a really good job in the show. And it couldn't come at a more perfect time. And speaking of the brutality, I do think the fight scenes for the most part are pretty good. None of them are really on the level of anything Netflix did. Like, they didn't give me the same feeling of any of the fights in season 3 with like Wilson and Bullseye, or the season 1 hallway fight. None of them reached like the highs of those, but I thought they were pretty solid. My favorite being the Daredevil Muse one mixed with, you know, Fist versus Atom. I thought that was the best one. But the fights are just good. Nothing more, nothing less. This is just the comic book fan in me. I love that they made Daredevil more acrobatic and just brutal in this show. You know, if there's one complaint I could have about the Netflix show is that he's just really not that acrobatic. He's almost like a normal guy. But in here, they use some clever CGI to make him do cool flips and shit, so I thought that was pretty neat. Because in the comics, he's almost just as acrobatic as Spider-Man. So, you know, if we do get that team up one day with Spider-Man, that would be some crazy acrobatics to see. And another thing I can say that this show did better than the Netflix one is they do a much better job at showcasing Matt's powers. The amount of stuff we hear and the amount of detail they put into it is just really good. There is a great shot in the first episode where it just puts you right in his POV, and it's so good. I really like how they show Matt's powers in this. They show them in great, clever ways. And of course, this comes at no surprise, but the acting is very good. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are here like they never left. I think everyone does a great job for the most part. But a big standout for me is Wilson Bethel. I hope I said his name correctly, as Bullseye. He's only really in 2 episodes, but man, he leaves a mark. I think what he's done with Bullseye is what Heath Ledger has done for the Joker. I really cannot picture anyone else in this role. He has just crushed it. But yeah, it's shot so good as well. It has one of my favorite Daredevil shots of all time, with the red lighting all over Daredevil right after Fisk won, and then the white light on Fisk. I think that is just such a cool shot. It says so much about their characters without telling you anything. But there's also a ton of good shots and awesome camera work as well. So that aspect of the Netflix show is still there. It's just, you know, not on the same level. You know, just hire the same people from it. Yeah, even they even have a filler episode, and I'm usually not one that likes filler episodes. I think I got a bad taste in my mouth from a ton of anime and like 2000 shows that had just like 100 filler episodes for no reason. But this show has a really good filler episode, the bank robbery one. Yeah, you could skip it and you'll miss really nothing, but if you just put it on and just enjoy the 40 minutes, I think you're in for a good time. It's basically Matt picking all these bank robbers off as Matt Murdock, stealthily like a Batman Arkham game. It's really cool. He uses all the abilities and all his charm to his benefit, and it's really interesting. I really like it. It's just a fun little episode. But yeah, overall, I'm impressed, but I do have to have some critiques of the show. First of all, some of the new characters just kind of suck, man. Cherry and Kirsten are terrible. All they literally are just Foggy and Karen, but just worse. Just no character sauce to them. Cherry and Kirsten literally just say things. They're both like Foggy replacements, honestly. They both just say things that Foggy would be saying to Matt. I thought they would have a new spin on them or something. They'd have their own character to them, but they don't. These two characters are literally just Foggy. All of their dialogue is just something Foggy would say to Matt. Especially this one scene in a bar with Cherry and Matt telling him basically like not to suit up again. And I'm like, I'm just thinking this is just Foggy. If you were just gonna do this, why not just have Foggy alive? And also Heather kind of serves as like a Karen replacement for him. Even though I do think Heather is significantly better than those two, she has her own unique character to her, even though it's kind of frustrating. Like by the end of the show, she's just such a vigilante hater for like no reason at all. And it's kind of stupid. I'm not saying this woman can't have a character for her, but she's really gonna tell me that Daredevil is just as bad as Muse. Like, girl, be fucking for real. This one's just a minor one. I wish they brought back the original theme song in its, as it was. They do have it, but it's like a remixed version of it. It's not bad, but it's just, like I said, I can sum this whole show up with, it's not bad, but the original is better. Also, some of the CGI just kind of looks really weird at times. It doesn't look bad, but it just looks very, very odd at times. And finally, the biggest disappointment on this show is Muse. I had high hopes for this. Reading some comic panels of this guy is just a freak. So I was really excited to see this character on screen, but no, they just dumb him down to a edgy teenager who just likes to kill people because his parents were mean to him. That is seriously the lamest route you can go with this character. And it has like no payoff whatsoever. He gets killed in episode 7, and he's built up for like more than half the show. And then he gets killed and he's just never mentioned again. It's like, it really feels like Disney wanted to do Muse, but they had to make room for what the Netflix people wanted. So they're just like, okay, we'll kill him off here, and then the rest of the show is all yours. It's very just unsatisfying, honestly, because I was actually really invested in Muse. I really thought he was really cool. But once we got to what he really was and his death, it just removed any coolness about this character at all. So yeah, that was a big letdown. That was a big old mouse fumble there. But overall, I did really enjoy the show. It's not nearly as good as the Netflix show, but I still really enjoyed it a lot. And with all the Netflix people basically running the show now for season 2, I think season 2 has the potential to be even better, especially with what they're setting up. They're basically doing the Devil's Reign story, so that opens up a lot of possibilities. Like, I really hope this is not Matt's army here. That would be incredibly fucking lame. But anyway, I'm satisfied. I like this show, and I can't wait for more. I'm going to give Born Again an 8 out of 10. It's very good. It is very, very good. I can't wait to see more, though.